This is the Brown Boy Wonders podcast.
Hey guys, it's the Brown Boy Wonders podcast. In today's episode, we're gonna talk about Week 7 of the NFL. Let me introduce our first guest here. He usually beats me in fantasy football. Here's Tyren, man. Tyren, how you doing?
What an introduction. What's up, everybody?
I think it's true. My second guest here, he's the guy who beats me in FIFA mostly. Here's Misbah. Misbah, how you doing, man?
I'm pretty good, man. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Well, how was y'all's Week 7 of the NFL?
I'm not too good, man. We were close, but the Eagles proved to be too much. That tush push rule, there needs to be something done about that, man. That really annoys me. But anyways, seems like we still have a lot more work to do.
Yeah, for sure. Tyren, how about you?
Also, not good. The Saints offense looked stagnant the first 2 quarters of the game. Then it came alive in the fourth quarter for some reason. Our defense still, they did their thing. It's just our offense, I'm still not convinced on Derek Carr.
You don't think Derek Carr is your best quarterback for Saints?
I don't. I think Jameis is the best quarterback on our roster.
Oh, what about Jason Tatum? Not Jason Tatum. Jason Hill.
On sport.
Uh,
Yeah.
Taysom is he's not the answer. He's not.
Oh, okay.
He's
Well,
not.
let's break it down to Saints and Jags. So you guys lost
Yes.
31 to 24. Derek Carr made 301 yards, one touchdown, one
Mm-hmm.
interception.
Mm-hmm.
Kamara 17 carries, 62 yards. And 12 receptions and 91 yards, but no touchdown. He made a lot of points. Chris Olvae, who is kind of in trouble now, but he has he has like 7 receptions and 57 yards. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. Yeah,
So
what's
it's
going on with
kind
your
of
team?
ironic. It's ironic because you mentioned Olave kind of being in trouble for speeding. But during the game he wasn't running fast at all. So
Henry
that's
Mm,
yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. There's something with Derek Carr and receivers and speeding.
yeah, like Henry Ruggs. That's unfortunate. Do you know how many? What was it, miles per hour for Olave?
Yeah, so he was going 70 and a 35.
Oh man, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Misbah, you're Miami.
Yeah.
Tua made 216 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Same thing as Derek Carr. Mostert made 9 carries, 45 yards, two touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, the fastest man on the planet, 11 receptions, 88 yards, and one touchdown. Waddle, 6 receptions, 63 yards, and zero touchdowns. Uh, uh, for you guys, who's more in trouble, Saints or Miami?
I still think so. A lot of the issue with Miami right now is there's a lot of injuries going on. So in that game, we were already down two of our starting offensive linemen, and we lost a third one. So the thing with fast receivers is no matter how fast you are, you still need a little bit of time to get the ball out. So with Tua is that he's just getting the ball out way too fast, and that Eagles secondary or defensive line rather is just so strong that they'll get you within a couple of seconds. Especially the rookie Jalen Carter's playing well. They have Hassan Reddick who's also playing really well. So it really comes down to offensive linemen. If we can get our linemen healthy and back in time for a playoff push, I think that'll make it a lot easier in Tua where obviously the receivers will do their thing. They'll get open, but he needs a little bit more time. And at the same time, we had injuries on our cornerbacks too. Both Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey still dealing with a meniscus injury are both out. So that kind of hurts our defense. So I think Miami's going through a lot of injuries right now. I really hope that when they get a lot more healthier, hopefully down the stretch, that it'll be a different team and we can compete with the bigger teams. As for the Saints, like he mentioned, I like their defense. I'm just not convinced on Derek Carr at the moment. Maybe time will tell, but yeah, it doesn't look like at the moment he's the answer moving forward for that team.
I see. Tyron?
I agree. To add, on to what he was saying about the injuries. Tyreek Hill is also injured. He didn't practice today.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw that.
I do believe he still plays, but that's just another name on the injury report.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw that hip injury. Hopefully, something too serious. But yeah, as long as we get at least one or two linemen back, though, I hope that at least we get a lineman back so we can have a little bit more time for Tua to throw the ball. That'll make it easier. What's
yeah.
interesting is how we're playing the Patriots this week, though, and everyone thought the Patriots are done, but somehow they beat the Bills last week, which caught me off guard. So who
It's a
knows?
division game.
Yeah,
Division games are always harder.
that is true. That is true.
well, yeah. You mentioned Bills; they are really struggling. Especially for my Stephon Diggs fantasy points, uh, but yeah, Bills are not doing well as we hope to. I mean, last year they're doing so well, and then this year I don't know what's happening with them.
It's been really up and down. I mean, they had some really good games. Like the first game they lost to the Jets. Then after that, they put up a really good couple three games. They beat us really bad. They beat a couple other good or not good teams, but they had a good stretch. Josh Allen was playing really well. And then like 2 weeks later, when they played the Jags, they started playing bad again. So it's
Hmm.
been kind of inconsistency, I think, with that offense, especially. Now again, they do have a lot of injuries in the defense, unfortunately. I kind of messed them up. I know Tre'Davious White tore his Achilles. There are some other linebackers, I believe, that hurt the defense. But really, it's the offense I think is just really inconsistent right now, and it's kind of up to Josh Allen and some of the other receivers to kind of step up. Especially Gabe Davis, he's been on and off as well. So they really need to kind of find their consistency and mojo and move forward.
Yeah, definitely. Miami is facing the Patriots. What do you hope from there, man?
Yeah, like I said, I hope we get at least a couple of players back from that injury report. Maybe one or two linemen back. Maybe Xavier Howard comes back. I do think Tyreek Hill will play with even despite the hip injury. So I think if we have give it to, like I said, we give him that time, and he has Tua and Jalen Waddle running down the field, we should be fine. I think. I don't really see the Patriots' offense as too much of a threat. I still think that our defensive line can get pressure. So hopefully, I think it'll be a grind, but I think we should get out with the dub.
Gotcha, gotcha. I love the conference, man. I love the conference.
Oh, for sure.
Tyren, your guys are facing the Colts. You got
Oh,
Minshew, mustache Minshew, man. How are you feeling right here?
More turnovers coming. He's a turnover machine. Um,
Ooh,
I do expect that game to be close. Sadly, though, um, the Colts secondary is not good, so that might be the only thing going for us.
gotcha. Well, did the Colts face Browns? Was it a close game, right? I was not expecting that close game.
yeah, there was a lot of controversy down the stretch, especially with some PI calls that kind of helped the Browns come up with the victory. But overall, it was a pretty close game. Two backup quarterbacks, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is you think Minshew is back, like as a starting quarterback from now on, or is he still a secondary quarterback?
No, I think he's a top tier backup quarterback. I just want to see him starting. I think Anthony Richardson is still a lot better, although he's injured. But I don't see Minshew as a starting quarterback for a team as of now.
Mm. For Anthony Richardson, I can see him as like Carson Wentz, and then you know how you got injured, and then Minshew might pick it up just like Nick Foles back in the Eagles. I can see that run.
Anything's possible, but I guess we'll have to give it some time. Anthony Richardson's still really, really young, so can't really say too much about him just yet.
Mm. Tyron?
Yep, I agree. Minshew is gonna be a top 2 or 3 backup QB in the league. Um, he still has a problem with turnovers. He kind of always has. But I mean, he comes in, he gets the job done. I mean, that's one thing about him. I don't understand how he does it, but he always finds a way. So
He
he has that
certainly,
going for him. Yeah, he has
yeah,
that going for him.
yeah, he certainly does. My Jets, they're on their bye week, but I didn't talk about when they face Philly. Man, when they beat Philadelphia, or especially that last play, man, I scream. I send you guys my recording. I literally screamed my head off, man. I was so crazy.
It was a really good game, yeah. Uh, Jets' defense has been playing really well, and even without some injuries, I think They still have one of the better defensive units in the league.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like people, like I said before, it's like a movie for the Jets. We're believing in Zach Wilson for the first time in a long time, or probably the first time actually. And freaking Aaron Rodgers, like, I don't know if you guys have seen Aaron Rodgers been moving around more recently, but he just said like he been going through some pain now. But I said this before. I asked before. Do you guys believe or think that he will come back this season?
Nope.
Yeah, I think it's a long shot. I definitely think it's a long shot for someone his age to come back from a fully torn Achilles. But I will say he's progressing really, really well. Most people in his stage aren't throwing the ball or walking around like he is. But I still think it's pretty long shot. And I just don't want him to jeopardize his future term career if he comes back and gets injured. I would say maybe if they make a deep playoff push, it's possible. But other than that, I don't see it happening.
If the Jets are in the conference and then Zach Wilson got hurt, they only want one man. It's Mr. Rogers, man. I can see him coming in. It's a perfect ending of a story of this season at least. But
It's
that's
a
just me.
possibility. I'll give it that. It's a
Yeah,
possibility.
I can see that. But yeah, I do have some questions for you guys. Um, since it was tight end day on that Sunday, do you guys consider Travis Kelce as the greatest tight end of all time? Anyone?
Ooh, now we're getting to the hot topic.
Sure.
Man,
He's in the conversation.
definitely in the conversation. Uh, I was a really big Gronk fan, so I'm a little biased.
Mm.
But in Gronk's defense, let's given the resumes, Gronk does have. I don't know the stats exactly. I'd have to look it up. I do believe he has a lot more touchdowns. In terms of yardage, I think it's pretty close, but I do know, pretty sure Gronk has more touchdowns. And obviously the 4-2 Super Bowl rings. Now again, you could say those rings are from Brady, but then again, you could say the rings Kelsey had with Mahomes as well. Two pretty solid quarterbacks. So I still think it's Gronk. I think in his prime, Gronk was super dominant, one of the most dominant players in the league. I think Travis Kelce is gonna overbeat him in longevity, just because I think he lasts a bit longer than Gronk did, especially all the injuries Gronk picked up. But with the amount of touchdowns that Gronk received throughout his career, and the Super Bowl rings, I still think he's the greatest in my books. But Travis Kelce, let's see. Maybe over time that debate may change. But as of now, I still think it's Gronk.
Gronk, wow. Tyren?
This is hard because I've always been a Tony Gonzalez fan,
Oh, okay.
He's up
and the
there too.
only thing,
He's
yeah,
up
and
there.
the only thing Tony Gonzalez didn't do was win a Super Bowl. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. But um, I don't know. That's hard because Tony Gonzalez has the yards. He has the Pro Bowls, the All Pros. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. Um,
Yeah,
it's
it's hard to
hard.
say, especially if Tony Gonzalez didn't have the elite quarterbacks that Gronk and Travis Kelce did. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
How it would have
But
played out.
Travis Kelce, I mean, obviously he has the All Pros, the Pro Bowls,
Right.
the two rings.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten the stats that Gonzalez has. That's it.
Right.
But it's
That's a no.
hard. It's
It's a
hard
no for you.
for Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no.
Oh, okay.
But Kelsey's in the conversation. I will say that.
It's definitely.
Yeah, I would say that too. But if he's playing for the next 10, not 10, 5 more years, then he'll be probably great. If he's playing the same way he's been playing
At the same
now,
level. Yeah.
yeah, I can see him as the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I think so. If he can play 5 years at pretty high consistent level, then yeah, that'll be a different debate, I think.
Hmm.
Definitely.
I don't
Um,
think it'll be a debate. I think Kelsey single-handedly takes it.
Yeah, after 5 years for sure.
Yeah.
definitely. Tony Gonzalez, that one time, I don't know if you guys remember, when he was doing the intro through Sunday Night Football, he said, Tony Gonzalez. I thought that was pretty funny. Um, next second question is, which quarterback is in more trouble, Josh Allen or Jared Goff.
And more trouble as in getting
As in-
replaced.
As in not performing well throughout the whole season.
I
Oh,
think
that.
it's Josh Allen, man, because Jared Goff, up until last game, he did play it really bad. But I think for the past couple of games, ever since the beginning of the season, he's been playing really well. Some people even put him as an MVP candidate. Obviously, they did have a blowout to the Ravens, so that kind of messed up his chances. But I think overall, he's still exceeding expectations for what they had in the beginning of the season. But Josh Allen, for the past couple of years, it's kind of been you've got to make a Super Bowl push. You've got to make a Super Bowl push. You've lost in the division around 3 straight years. You've got to get to the Super, at least get something, at least make the championship game or something. So I think he's under a lot more pressure just because of the expectations that were laid out to him before. I don't think anyone expected really Jared Goff to play at as high of a level as he has so far. And even
Definitely
though he
not.
didn't play really well against the Ravens, I still think he still has more to less scrutiny than what Josh Allen has at the moment, just because we've given Josh Allen a lot more time, and Jared Goff's pretty new to the system in Detroit. So in my opinion, it'll be Josh Allen.
Tyren?
Interesting. Okay, so I have some stats for y'all.
Sure.
So before the Ravens game, this was Jared Goff's stats in the last 17 games. He had a passer rating of 104.5 with 4,473 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
That's solid to me.
Wow.
That's pretty solid,
Yeah, that was before the Ravens game.
especially with the low turnover ratio.
Yeah. So I would have to agree it's Josh Allen. I still don't like how they're using Josh Allen. They're still using him as that QB RB1 on his team, and they're still not utilizing the run game with their running backs. And so Josh Allen's body obviously has been taking the beating a
Yeah.
lot more these past 2 years. He had the elbow injury last year, and he's been fighting like small injuries this year. And eventually that's just going to take a toll on him. So, along with the pressure of winning a Super Bowl and getting his team over the hump. And again, like I said with Minshew, same with Josh Allen. He's a turnover machine. He's forcing passes that he doesn't need to. And I think a lot of times he takes a lot of unnecessary risks when he doesn't have to,
Mm-hmm.
which again puts the Bills in a harder position to win. He did that last game against the Patriots, and obviously the first game of the season against the Jets when he threw, I think, 4 picks, 3 picks, 4 picks.
3 picks, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of all 3 of those passes were unnecessary when he threw those picks. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna
Is-
have to go with Josh Allen also.
Yeah, I would say the same for Josh Allen. But for a quarterback, do you guys think, like, is it, like, let's say if they're running out of the pocket, is it necessary for them to throw it or is it just to take the sack? Because you might get intercepted or might get even hurt even more, just like Aaron Rodgers beginning of the season.
Yeah, I
I
mean, if
guess
you try to get hit, you could also throw it away as well.
Yeah.
it depends on the situation.
That too.
If you have a if you have a defensive end running at you, throw it away. Or if you can't, I mean, take the sack. I'd rather a sack than a turnover.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. That's how Tom Brady did it a long time ago. He just laid down when he knows he's gonna get sacked.
Yeah.
That's why he's the greatest of all time, which I hate, but it's okay. Um, since the NBA season started, who's worse, NFL refs or NBA refs?
Oh gosh. So I don't know. We have a small sample size from the 2 games yesterday and the games today, but it's still the NBA refs to me.
Mm,
You can't like if there's a call, you can't talk to them
that's true.
because they think you're being belligerent and disrespectful. You can't try to get an understanding of why a foul was called because they'll think that's disrespectful. Um, I don't know. I'm thinking about this question, and all I see is Tim Duncan laughing on the bench and getting ejected.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think that was Joey Crawford. I never could stand that ref.
Mm.
And yeah, that's all I see in my head when I'm talking to you right now. That and Patrick Beverly last year with the camera.
Oh man, that was legendary. That was legendary.
Misbah?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd have to agree. In terms of the ruling, I think NFL has a little bit better with the challenge system, where you get the two challenges, and if you get those right, you get a third. NBA is still kind of new with the challenge system. I think this is the first year they're implementing like if you win one, you get a second one, and then but you
Yeah.
still lose a timeout regardless. So I still think it's that's a system that they kind of want to kind of incorporate the way the NFL does it in a way. I know this challenge is really new, but I think it's something necessary because especially in those late game calls when you get a turnover, a foul that can kind of really change the momentum of the game, those challenges can be really important. And what I do like nowadays is that they also started giving technical fouls to flopping, so they're kind of restricting down on that because flopping has been getting out of hand, especially in the NBA, where
Definitely.
you see people getting these calls and it kind of can change the structure of a game depending on how many free throws a person gets. So I was watching the Celtics game a little bit today with the Knicks. There was a
Mhm.
couple of flopping calls that were called and they were giving technical fouls. So I do like that the way it's progressing, but I still think there's a lot more work to do. But yeah, at the moment, I still think it's the NBA. It still needs some more work done, but I feel like it's heading in a positive direction. The way they're implementing these new rules and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's different because when it comes to like football and basketball, they're pretty much like either physical. I mean, they're both physical sport, but there's one more physical.
Right.
That's the NFL. But yeah, I can see that NFL refs are leading to the right way. But the thing is, I don't think I don't well maybe NFL refs they do listen to the coaches, but I don't think they do anything about it. Like they just listen, just like the NBA refs. But I don't know. It's just me. Uh, but the next question is it well we have so the NFL has 32 teams. Is it time for England and Mexico to have their own team?
I don't know about that, man. I mean, do you mean like the England national team or like a city inside of England to own a host an NFL
Like
team?
like you know how Raptors have their own city or team in Canada for
Canada.
NBA. They could do
Right.
the same thing for England or Mexico.
Yeah, but also you got to look at the population and how attracted they are to football itself, anyways. I mean, I know there's been international games, but I just don't see them having like a whole city dedicated to build a team when I feel like their focus is a lot more on other sports like soccer and things like that.
Mm. I
I don't think
mean,
they're invested.
the, the if you Jaguars always go there, and I feel like
They do.
the English people think that that's their team. So I don't know. I think they're really enthused. What about you? What about you, Tyron?
Actually, I would love to see that. I don't know the logistics of it and the expenses because teams would have to travel there
Hmm.
um every week or well not every week but whenever those teams would have home games. It would
Yeah,
be nice, but I'm not sure because we know
yeah,
whenever they go to London, that stadium is always you know it's always full, and same with Mexico. Um,
Hmm.
but I don't know. That
that's
one's tough.
true. Yeah, the traveling would be a really big issue, I think,
Uh,
especially given international borders. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
Canada's right
especially
there, but
yeah, I
going
don't
from
know.
like LA to England and coming back, that'd be kind of tough.
We see how teams play on Thursday nights, and it's like they get 4 days, really like 3 days to prep for Thursday night games. But when you go to London, that whole like time, the time difference, and
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's a lot for a team, especially if there was to be like a Thursday night game in London. I feel like that's just a lot for a team to prepare for. And I don't know how good the football, like the quality of the football would be going all
Yeah,
the way to London.
gotta agree with that.
Gotcha. Or unless they only play Thursday nights and Monday nights.
There would have to be something because you could never have a short week flying across the Atlantic Ocean and getting acclimated to that time difference.
Yeah. Unless they have like a space shuttle or something. They'll go quicker. But yeah. Last question here is who is who is faster? Tyreek Hill or Chris Olave's car?
It's a good question.
I'm gonna have to go with the car on that one.
Yeah, me too. Tyreek Hill may be fast, but I don't think he's reached that level yet. At least not yet. But who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe later.
I
Maybe one
mean,
day.
I think Tyreek Hill got it because he went to the Olympics and I think he was the fastest not NFL, but I think one of the fastest guys up there.
True,
Well,
but
we don't
70 miles per
know.
hour is that's a little
Yeah,
too excessive. I don't
we
think
still
that's,
don't know what kind of car Olave was driving.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, let's let's get into fantasy. So I have a starters list right here, and just you guys tell me if you guys agree to if you want to start these players. So I'm gonna start with I'll go with each position.
Are we talking about like this week's matchup or just in general?
This week's matchup.
Okay. You'd have to tell me the team they're playing too.
I got you. I got you.
All right.
All right. So I got quarterback Jared Goff versus the Raiders. Is that a start or not?
Start, start,
Definitely,
start,
yeah.
start, start.
Okay.
Jared Goff's been playing outside of one game's been playing well, and the Raiders defense isn't. I mean, Max Crosby's really doing well, but the secondary is a little bit weak. I would start him for sure.
Gotcha.
Jared Goff always bounces back after a loss.
That is true.
All right. Running back here, Brees Hall versus the Giants.
Oh man, I don't know about that one.
I'd start myself against the Giants.
Yeah, since to the Giants, I think I would agree. Although he's been kind of inconsistent,
Hmm.
but
He
that
is.
Giants defense hasn't been really playing well, so there is that. And also, there's been rumors of Dalvin Cook being traded.
Yeah, they're shopping him. They just got him this season. I don't know,
I
man.
don't
Yeah, they
know.
just got him.
I don't know who would want him, but good luck.
Wide receiver here, Terry McLaurin versus the Eagles.
Oh man.
Oh, Terry always does decent against
I mean,
division.
last game against the Eagles, he played well, so I'll pick him again. It was a close game.
He only did well because he picked up the fumble in the end zone.
But
Okay,
again, division opponents are different.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Uh, Flex here, DeAndre Hopkins versus the Falcons.
No, man. That meant I
I
don't know what's going on with the Titans right now, but they're starting their third string quarterback, I think, Will Levi.
yeah.
They are.
I love the matchup, but I don't love the quarterback situation.
Yeah, I do not like the quarterback situation at all.
Mm, Okay, tight end here, not Taysom Tatum, but Taysom Hill versus the Colts.
Oh, see, Taysom's always a wild card because I never know how they're going to use him.
That's the thing. He can either pop off or not do anything. It's really hard to
Like,
say.
yeah, against the Jags, he had a number of catches, um, and he had a rushing touchdown. So it never, I don't know. You never know what the game script is going to be like.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't just because it's too unpredictable.
Okay, okay. Um, Kicker here, Miami's own Jason Sanders versus the Pats.
Jason Sanders, he's done well. I'm
Yeah,
assuming he'll get a couple touchdowns.
they don't really kick field goals though, because they're
Yeah,
either scoring or they're not in field goal range. There's like really no in between.
that's true.
Gotcha.
He's well, but I wouldn't start him just because of that situation he's in.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for Maher. He got released after those two crucial field goals.
Mm.
I think they should have kept him. I mean, he should have at least redeemed himself, but I don't think he had that chance anymore.
True.
Defense: Ravens versus Cardinals.
Ravens are playing really well, man. The way they shut down the lines,
Mhm.
definitely.
They're
Most
playing the
definitely.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd play them.
For sure.
And for the deep leagues, defensive linemen or D linemen, would you guys play TJ Watt against I believe it's Titans?
It doesn't matter who TJ Watt's playing
TJ,
against.
exactly. Pay that man on anybody. He's a monster.
Dude, he's literally I think he's better than his brother, JJ Watt.
He might be.
He is.
Not yet, but maybe.
No,
Yeah.
JJ's already said it. He is because JJ was battling injuries around this time in his career where TJ is right now.
True.
Yeah.
DJ Watt is a 3-time defensive player of the year, though. Still have to wait to see DJ Watt, what he ends up doing. But with his trajectory, he could definitely surpass that, I think. But we'll have to wait and see, I think.
Nice. Well, yeah, that's the stardoms right there. But who would win? Random question here. Who would win in a fight? TJ Watt or Miles Garrett?
Probably Miles Garrett.
I think Miles Garrett's a little bit more bigger, yeah.
He's more bigger, and then he of course took off Mason's Rudolph's helmet and hit him over the head.
Yeah, he already
He
has
doesn't need
experience.
it.
Yeah, a lot of things happening, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Guys, Misbah, do you first? Not do you first, but whoa, hey, 1 second. Let's go. Let's go with you, Misbah. Where can they find you?
Find my Instagram at MissVeggie6, man.
Nice. Tyren, I'm not gonna say you. I'm doing you second, but you go ahead.
Yeah, y'all can find me at _Tyrenol. It's like Tylenol, but without the L, but with an R, another underscore after.
Very nice. We all need some Tylenol, if you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys can find this podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and it is now released on iHeartRadio. Whoever's listening to that podcast.
Wow, they still use that?
Yeah, I'm getting up there. I'm getting up there.
Sure.
But yeah, other than
Expanding.
that, hey man, I got to. I can't be only in Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm on Google Podcasts, but I don't think no one listens to that.
Mm.
But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Any last words, guys?
Go Dolphins, baby.
Go Dolphins. Tyren?
Please rebound, Saints. Please. We're better than this.
And for the love of God, Zach Wilson, make a freaking touchdown.
Bing bang.